Gonna go off this handout again, finding unknown angles. Go ahead and take about 5 minutes to go back and review this handout. Read it again carefully. Make sure you take a look at all of the information, especially when we get to this page where it's talking about vertical angles, sum of adjacent angles, the sum of adjacent angles around a point, triangle sum theorem, right triangles, exterior angles of a triangle, isosceles, equilateral, parallelogram, and trapezoids. Please make sure you go through that right now. So you're taking about 5 minutes to review that again and read it carefully. All right, keep in mind vertical angles, okay? Remember in the handouts that we worked on last time, how to identify vertical angles? I was having you guys use the highlighters so that eventually you guys start kind of visualizing which is the specific angle is being labeled. Remember the letters that were used to determine which angle was being referred to? There's usually two ways to write it, okay? Adjacent angles, always keep in mind they're always going to be on a straight line. If they're a linear pair, that means if they're on that straight line, that means they add up to 180. So there could be 2, 3, 4 of them that are on that line, okay? So look out for these straight lines, okay? Whenever you go around something, always the total will always be 360 degrees. Now there's a big difference when you're using degrees and when you're measuring a side length. You don't measure side lengths with degrees, okay? You measure degrees with the angles that the sides make, okay? That's why when we were doing the activity with the protractors, this curvature right here represents those angle measures, okay? If you use the straight edge part, you're measuring a side length, okay? So keep in mind what we did with this activity with the protractors, okay? All right. Triangles, we're going to get into that. Remember, we're in Unit 2 now, okay? And when we get to problems that involve triangles, the angles inside always have to add up to 180, okay? If it's a right triangle, the other two angles should add up to 90. 90 plus this 90 is 180, okay? Remember, the exterior angles is always equal to the opposite two interior angles, not this one. This one that is right next to it, that's an adjacent angle. Those two add up to equal 180. So make sure you distinguish that, okay? And then we had isosceles triangles. Remember, isosceles is only two sides are equal. Equilateral is three sides are equal, okay? If two sides are equal, that means two angles are equal, and it's the opposite two angles, okay? In equilateral, the only equilateral triangle that you can have, if all three sides are equal, is 60, 60, 60, okay? So that's a basic rule that we want to make sure you guys remember, okay? In a parallelogram, opposite sides are equal, opposite angles are equal, okay? These two that are not labeled right here are also opposite angles, and whatever they measure, they are equal, okay? Now, in a parallelogram, the two consecutive interior angles that are on the same side that are not parallel to each other, those two angles should add up to 180. And then you have these two over here. These two angles should add up to 180. Now, in a trapezoid, the two angles on the top are not going to add up to 180, okay? Those two angles could be different, okay, depending on the way this angle is, the way this line, if it's longer. If this line, these two sides do not necessarily have to be congruent on a trapezoid. So it doesn't mean that the top two angles are equal or that they add up to 180. Okay? The one thing that we do know is all four of the angles, though, in a four-sided figure, I'll know exactly how much all those four angles will add up, but I'll teach you that later, okay? Right now, inside of a triangle, always 180, okay? All right. Now, we went over this example. We already did this in your handouts. Does everybody, can you go to that page real quick? You don't have to take it out. Just go to it real quick. All those problems that we did, we went over vertical angles and angles that were on a straight line. Okay, we took care of that. Here were our answers for those problems if you needed to go back and check them. Now, I've already posted the video of that last class. If any of you are absent, you guys need to communicate with me about your absences, okay? Then we went to this page right here, angles of straight lines. Angles of straight lines should always add up to equal 180, okay? And again, we went over those answers. I posted that video up already. There are those answers, okay? And now, this is where we're at now, pairs of angles. So everybody, go ahead and go to that one. We are going to work on that one right now. So if you need to take it out, that's fine. First thing I need you guys to do, I'm going to give you two definitions because I really haven't introduced this to you guys, okay? So we'll write them over here on the space provided right here. Go ahead and write the word complementary. Okay. Complementary means angle A plus angle B should add up to equal 90. If you know one of those angles, just do 90 minus the angle that you know. Whatever you get from that, that's what the one that is missing is, okay? All right. Supplementary then. Supplementary. Obviously, they don't add up to 90, correct? Because if they add up to 90, then they are complementary, okay? Supplementary means the angles add up to equal, anybody remember? 180. Supplementary means the two angles add up to equal 180. So, if you know one of them, just do 180 minus the one you do know, and whatever you get from that, that's what the other angle is, okay? So we're just going to do some basic the adding or subtracting to figure out the pairs of angles, okay? But you guys really need to pay attention. Are they saying complementary or are they saying supplementary, okay? All right. So let's go ahead and do the first one, and we're going to match. Which one is a supplement of the 164 degrees? So supplement means 164 plus which one of these angles will add up to 180. So go ahead and do the math real quick. When you figure out the angle, just do me a favor right here. Write 164 plus what number are you thinking out of these? And check it. Does it add up to 180? Okay, so take a few seconds to do that on how we're figuring out which one is matching with the supplement of 164. All right. Can you go ahead and finish just this box for right now and put your pencils down? So go ahead and get the complement of 17, complement of 58, supplement of 175, and the complement of 49. And then just put your pencils down. Make sure if you're getting answers wrong, that's your indication to you individually, and I don't even know. You're the only one that's going to know this. You're not getting the correct answer. Are you going too fast? Are you doing it all in your head? If you're doing it in your head and you're getting these answers wrong, there's your indication there. Write everything out. I just suggest just write it out. It's not that much more time, okay? All right, what's the complement of 17? So 17 plus what number will give me 90? 73, okay, so let's check it. 7 plus 3 gives me the 10, carry over the 1. 7 plus 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9, matches perfectly. So 17 and 73, everybody got that one? Yeah? Okay. Complement of 58, so I'm going to have to do this. 58 plus what will give me how much? 32. Complement should always give you 90. Okay? 8 and 2 is 10, carry over the 1. 5 and 3 is 8, plus 1 is 9, which is correct. So 58 matches with 32 right there. We're okay so far? All right. Supplement of 175. So 175 plus what will give you 180? That one was pretty easy. Yeah? Now you're only left with 49 and 41, right? So 49 plus 41 will give you 90, and they said the word complement, so you guys understand the difference between complement and supplement very easily? Yeah? Okay, very good. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the next section. Go ahead and see if you guys can answer the next box on problem numbers 2 in that box. And then put your pencils down. So you've got 4 problems in problem number 2. Get the complement of 62 and the supplement of 62. So you got some room right here on the sides to do some work. So don't feel like, oh man, if I write it down, I'm just taking too long. We're not here to try to race and get these answers fast. That's not the point. We want to learn that we're getting these correctly. So don't worry about the racing to finish, okay? It's not a race right now. We want to make sure you understand it. All right, the answers on these problems, we'll go ahead and take a look at those answers. Go ahead and check your answers. Are there any questions on any of those? No? All right, everybody checked them all? Yeah? Okay. Right, so let's move on. 1 through 8. Please just put your pencils down. No need to rush. Don't go to the next set. If you're already done with 1 through 8, double check your work. Again, we're not trying to rush here. Simple addition and subtraction. You should have plenty of room on your paper to just show that little work right there, just to double check. It's good practice for you guys. Okay? Only if you've shown all your work and you've checked your answers on 1 through 8 that you know you got those right. Go ahead and start 9 through 12 then. Read the questions carefully on 9 through 12. All right, so on the following problems, first 1 through 8, can you go ahead and check your answers there and make sure you guys, any of them, please ask me questions on it if you don't get those answers, okay? Sometimes, again, there are typos and I do make mistakes. So if you feel you have the right answer and I don't be afraid to say it, okay? Everybody okay on 1 through 8? Did everybody get those right? Yeah? Okay. Complementary, supplementary, pretty easy then? Yeah? Okay. Can I show the next answers? Yeah? Okay. 9 through 12. Can you check those real quick? Again, I'm showing just answers, but your work, you should have work there, because I don't want just, this is all mental. If I were to see that on the paper, I'd be like, how did you get that? Show me something, you know? And it doesn't take that long, okay? All right, are there any questions on 9 through 12? You guys getting supplement and complement? Super easy? Yeah? All right, good. Now we're going to switch gears here, and we're going to move on to a different section, okay? Now, the section that we're going to go over looks like this. What a logic puzzle is, involves, what we're going to do is if and then statements, okay? And we're going to get into a part of geometry that is actually something that you guys have been doing for a long time now. You guys have always done this, but you weren't aware of it. You noticed something, and then you said, well, if they're doing this, then they're probably going to do this after that. You've made a statement about something, whether it was about a person that you saw, because if they're wearing black clothes all the time, every day, then they're something, or anything. You make observations all the times about people. Yeah? You look at people, you think about what you see from them, and you try to figure out, well, I think this is what they are. Okay? So this is how we fill out a logic puzzle. Now we're gonna start it off together, but you guys are going to finish the logic puzzle. And at the very end of the logic puzzle, you guys are going to have to be able to tell me the first name, what university did that person go to, and what computer program did that person use, from just the clues that are on the bottom down here. All right? So everybody, we're going to go to clue number 1. Go ahead and read clue number 1 to yourself quietly. Now don't start writing anything out just yet. Just read it carefully. All right, so now, let's go up to the puzzle now. And it says the person, which we don't know who it is, who arrived at 11:30. So now, we are going to make sure we pay attention to 11:30, okay? That person specializes in Python applications. So I want you to find 11:30 either down or across and match it with Python applications and put a circle there. Don't put an X there. Put a circle there. All right, so did everybody find 11:30? Match it with Python, and you put a circle right there. A circle means that those two go together, all right? Now, the person that is at 11:30, whoever that person is and whatever college they went to, nobody else can arrive at 11:30. So that means whoever the computer programmer is cannot arrive at 11:30. Whoever does PHP cannot arrive at 11:30. And whoever does Flash cannot arrive at 11:30. Go ahead and X out those for me. Now, do you guys notice that there's also some other parts that we need to X out? Who can tell me what else should we X out? No? 8 a.m. Python? Whoever does Python did not come in at 8 a.m. They came in at 11:30. Good. Anything else?
So it'll be all the times for that one?
So all the times, there's only one time for the Python. It's 11:30, right? Python cannot do any other time, so we got to X out the rest of them too. Okay. You okay with me right there? All right. Let's have you go ahead and read clue number 2. So you're going to read clue number 2, and I want you to try to figure out, are you going to circle a box or are you going to mark an X for a box? How is that clue helping you? The clue reads, the Python programmer arrived earlier than Tegan.
And none of them can arrive at the same time.
None of them can be at only one college per person, and only one time per person, and only one program per person. So hopefully that's starting to make a little bit of sense right now. Okay. All right, so here's the clue. The Python programmer, which you guys already know, arrived at what time? That person arrived earlier than Tegan. So now you know Tegan does not do the Python, right? So go to Tegan, match him with Python. Tegan does not do the Python because they're two different people. And we also know that the Python programmer arrived earlier than Tegan. So if the Python programmer arrived at 11:30, which is earlier, which possibilities does Tegan, can Tegan arrive at 11:30? No. Could Tegan have arrived at 2:30?
Yeah.
All right, how about 5:30?
Yeah.
Could he have arrived at 8? No. You guys with me okay right there? Anything else that we can use from this clue to help us fill anything else out, either an X or a circle because of this clue? The Python programmer arrived earlier than Tegan. Anybody else see anything else we can fill in just from that clue? All right, I'm going to have you guys on your own try to figure it out and finish. And everybody should be able to match their first name with the correct university and what computer program they're going to be reading. Okay, so just bear with me real quick. Clue number 3 says the Perl programmer didn't graduate from Harvard. So we're going to go to, the only thing we know is the Perl programmer. And we know the college that the Perl programmer didn't go to, which was Harvard. So do I put an X on that box or a circle?
X.
X. Very good. Perl programmer did not graduate from Harvard. Is there anything else I can get from that clue? No? Okay. Does everybody understand what the X's mean? And does everybody understand what the circles mean? Everybody okay? All right. I'm going to give you guys, let's see, it's 1:48. So I'm going to give you guys 10 minutes. Okay, so first things first. It says we went over clue 1, clue 2, and clue 3. Everybody okay that this was only up to clue 3? Yeah? Okay. So now, clue 4, it says, the Dartmouth graduate arrived earlier than the Python programmer. That should tell you that whoever the Python programmer is, arrived at 11:30, whoever the Python programmer is not from Dartmouth. The Dartmouth graduate arrived earlier than the Python programmer. So the Dartmouth graduate arrived earlier than the Python programmer. So what time did the Dartmouth graduate arrive then? At 8. Whoever the Dartmouth graduate is arrived at 8. That means that person that arrived at 8 did not go to Caltech, Harvard, or Princeton. Everybody agree? And the person from 11:30, whoever the Python programmer is, did not go to Dartmouth. The 2:30 person did not go to Dartmouth. And the 5:30 person did not go to Dartmouth. Are we okay? Yeah? All right. Are we okay with our logic and our reasoning right now? Yeah? Okay. Let's see, Dartmouth arrived at 8. So I don't know who Dartmouth is, but it could be one of these 3 people went to Dartmouth. Okay? I still don't know who it is. Okay. All right, number 5. Either the Flash programmer or the PHP programmer is Raphael. So Raphael can only be the Flash programmer or the PHP programmer. He cannot be the Pro programmer or the Python programmer. So with that said, Raphael did not arrive at 11:30. Does everybody agree? Because he's not the Python programmer. He did not arrive at 11:30. Okay. Anything else I can get from that, from just that clue? Okay. All right, next clue. The person who arrived at 2:30 graduated from Caltech. So you go to 2:30 and you go to Caltech. That means the Python programmer did not go to Caltech. So that means one of these 2 people is going to be the Python programmer. Okay? The 5:30 person did not go to Caltech. The 2:30 person can only have graduated from Caltech, so they did not graduate from any of the other schools. All right. So the 2:30 person graduated from Caltech. Anything else I can fill in from that clue, you think? All right. Number 7, the Flash programmer is not Tegan. So the Flash programmer, Tegan is not the Flash programmer. That means Tegan is either the PHP or the Perl. Okay? Number 8, of the Python programmer and Madeline, right there, just that statement, Python programmer is not Madeline. So Python programmer is not Madeline. Who's the Python programmer? Madison. That means Madison arrived at 11:30, not anywhere else. Everybody with me right there? So I know that Madison arrived at 11:30, so that's right here. I also know that Madison is the Python programmer. So Madison either graduated from Harvard or Princeton. Now, I didn't finish that whole sentence. It says one arrived at 11:30 and the other graduated from Caltech. So you already know something about 11:30, right? What do you know about 11:30? It's Python programmer. Python programmer is Madison. So one of them arrived at 11:30. So that means if the Python programmer is Madison, Madison arrived at 11:30. So who arrived at, what time did, let's see, of the Python programmer, and only one arrived at 11:30. Okay, the other graduated from Caltech. So that tells you who graduated from Caltech now? Madeline. So Madeline arrived at one of these times. We know that she graduated from Caltech already now. All right, everybody okay right there? Now the only thing we don't know is what time Madeline was at. Now, we actually do know that time though. Everybody see? Whoever graduated from Caltech came in at 2:30. We already know who graduated from Caltech, don't we? Madeline. Madeline graduated from Caltech. Therefore, she arrived at 2:30, which means she didn't arrive any other time, and nobody else arrived at the time she arrived. Do you see that you already know something else that I haven't filled in? Who can see it? Tegan only has one option left, 5:30. That means nobody else arrived at 5:30, and now you know something else. Raphael came in at 8. So I already know Raphael goes here. Okay. And Raphael is the Flash programmer. I haven't figured that out yet, but we'll.
So he's either the Flash or the PHP, and then because then it says that Tegan's not the Flash.
Okay, Tegan is not the Flash. Tegan arrived at 5:30. Tegan is not the Flash, therefore Tegan should have an X right there. Now let me fill this in. I know Raphael graduated from what school? Dartmouth. Madison graduated from where?
Princeton.
Now, from my clues right now, it's either Harvard or Princeton, so I still don't know which one yet. Madeline arrived at 2:30. Madeline arrived at 2:30, and Madeline graduated from Caltech. All right. And do we know what program Madeline uses? Not yet. Madeline arrived at 2:30. She went to Caltech. She's not the Python programmer. All right. That just gave me another clue then. Madison is the Python programmer. Nobody else can be the Python programmer. So Madison is the Python programmer. We still don't know if Madison went to Harvard or Princeton.
It says
Okay, so I haven't done clue number 9 yet, right? All right, I just wanted to make sure. I thought I'd get them all. All right, so we haven't done clue number 9. Clue number 9 says the Harvard graduate is not Madison. Now, before I did that, you see everything I filled in, and I haven't even read clue 9 or 10 yet? Yeah? So the Harvard graduate is not Madison. So that means Madison did not graduate from Harvard. Now we know Madison came in at 11:30. Madison did not go to Harvard. Now that gave me another statement then. Madison went to where? Princeton. So nobody else went to Princeton. Do you see that that opens up now another answer? Tegan, who arrived at 5:30, went to Harvard. Yeah? So let's fill this in. Madison went to where? Princeton, yes? Princeton. And Madison is the Python programmer. Raphael went to Dartmouth. We don't know what programmer he is yet. Madeline went to Caltech. All right, so I need to read clue number 10 now then. The person who arrived at 8 o'clock is Raphael. Okay, that's pretty much already been identified, yes? Okay, now from all those clues now, everything else should be able to be filled in. And you see something that I haven't filled in that I can still use.
Princeton, so you can search it out on the model.
All right, so Madison went to Princeton. Okay, good. Circle that on the bottom. Nobody else went to Princeton. Okay, good. Say it again. So Raphael went to Dartmouth. So Raphael didn't go anywhere else. That means Harvard is Tegan. So Tegan at 5:30 went to Harvard. Now we're just missing the program, right? Person that went to Harvard did not do Perl. Who went to Harvard? Tegan. Tegan went to Harvard. Do you see now? That marks that off. Marks that off. So Tegan arrived at 5:30. Tegan went to Harvard. And do we know what his program is? No, it says Tegan.
Yeah, but it says you can put a Harvard graduate.
Oh, okay, the Harvard graduate did not do Perl.
So you have to exit that out.
All right, so I have to X out. There was an error here. I have to X out. The Harvard graduate did not do Perl, right?
Yeah.
So the Harvard graduate did not do Perl. So that would. Okay, so that one. Harvard graduate did not do Perl.
And it also said Tegan did not do Flash. So
Tegan did not do Flash. So all that was left was PHP for Tegan. So Tegan did PHP. All right. And then Flash, either Raphael or Madeline. Can we identify Madeline's program yet? Madeline was either Flash or Perl, but
it says Raphael was either Flash or PHP, and it says PHP is taken as Flash.
so since PHP is taken for Raphael, the only thing left is Flash, so that is true. Which means Madeline did the Perl program. So Madeline did Perl, and Raphael did Flash. So Raphael went to Dartmouth, he did the Flash program. Madison went to Princeton, did the Python program. Madeline went to Caltech and did the Perl program. And Tegan went to Harvard and did the PHP program. Those of you that got that right, that is correct, yes?
That's what I put.
Not when I read it.
Haven't.
No? Something wasn't right when I read it. Okay.
That's what I put.
You put that there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Take a look at your I can fill in the rest at this point. I know that Madeline arrived at 2:30 is the Pearl programmer and went to Caltech. So Madeline, 2:30, Caltech, Pearl programmer. You guys see that? I know that Madison is at 11:30. She's the Python and went to Princeton. So Madison at 11:30 went to Princeton and did Python. And you notice right here, I've already got no option there. So this has to be X'd out, which means that has to be filled in. And this can be filled in as well. The Flash programmer is whom? Raphael. So Raphael went to Dartmouth. So the Flash programmer went to Dartmouth. Right. The PHP programmer was Tegan. Tegan went to Harvard. So Harvard and PHP, which is right here, yes? That X's all that out. And then, let's see, we did Madison, Tegan was 5:30, and he went to Harvard, and he did PHP. We did Raphael already, right? Raphael did Flash, yes. And Tegan did PHP. So the Python programmer was Madison. So Madison went to Princeton. Princeton was the Python programmer. And there you go. All right. Deputy, you started working with conditional statements. If my hypothesis, then my conclusion, you use those clues to fill in those boxes. And then if this, then this happened. Those are the types of statements that we're going to be working on that are going to involve inductive and deductive reasoning, which I will explain, but I want to do this activity so that you guys get in your mind, well, if I know this, then I know this also. Yeah? Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the other puzzle. When you go through this, you can use a chart, okay, to help you fill in those clues. That's the chart that's given below. Remember that X indicates that no. Leave the open spot or leave the circle blank means yes. Or you put a dot or a circle, okay? Now, each person has a column, and the clues that are given, you're going to give the person's newspaper, column name, and field of interest, okay? Now, this is going to be done at home, okay? All right? Because I'm going to have, now you guys can stay and finish it right now, but I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to do that at home.